I want to encourage you this morning that you really decide to have God in the narrative of your life. Because if you don't have God as part of your life story, by the time you hit the tombstone, you have nothing to write. You know, I saw a tombstone, somebody's, it was R.C. Sproul, was written there, he's a kind man, but the Lord was kinder to him. You know what it is? The Lord must be in your life. Whatever shapes it is, that is the point. Many people think that as long as I live my way, my life, my way or it's either my way or highway kind of thing, you end up to be a very lonely man. Yeah, you may have friends and families, and that says they're not lonely, but you are extremely lonely as far as the one that really matters is concerned. Now that's a groundbreaker. That's a killer. You know, we may seek to find ways that really satisfy our sense of significance, our longing for significance, our longing for knowing what life is about. I've heard people, like even Elon Musk, there's an existential crisis growing up, trying to find the meaning of life. I'm gonna tell you this: sending a rocket to the moon, sending space shuttle to Mars, having the best car Tesla invented, the most money in the world, does not make you find the meaning of life. Because these are all peripherals, these are all decorations, they are all exterior. But what really matters is inside of you, not just how you feel, to find the authentic you that's like the postmodernism teaching you. No. It's rather find out who your God is and what is He saying and doing in your life. And as He reached out to you, receive Him. Have Him a huge part of your life. A story that's worth telling to your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren in the future, in the days to come. All this is only possible and make your life meaningful, existentially, to satisfy, not just satisfy, but this will mean to go for the long term, for eternity. That is what matters. Now, today I want to bring to you a story which is really amazing in the book of Joshua 24. Okay, it says here that verse 2 onwards, Joshua addressed to them as follows: the Lord God of Israel says, your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham, Nahor, lived east of the Euphrates River, and they worshipped other gods. But I took your father Abraham from that land across the river and led him into the land of Canaan, and gave him many descendants through Isaac his son. Isaac's children, whom I gave him, were Jacob and Esau. To Jacob I gave the area around Mount Seir, while Jacob and his children went into Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron to bring terrible plagues upon Egypt, and afterwards I brought my people out as free men. Okay, then the story of Exodus began. What I'm trying to share with you is that in a strange, saddest way, I find a sadness comes upon me for Esau. Esau's narrative disappeared from the Bible. There's no more sense of God with him anymore. It's just gone. And then Jacob, and Jacob and children went into Egypt. Whose idea was that? God's idea. And they went into Egypt, and therefore it created the whole story and narrative of the great Exodus. And therefore thereafter, Moses came down to give the 10 Commandments through the Exodus, after the Exodus, when God demonstrated His mighty powers. and strength. Imagine that Jacob's life is full of God. That's what I want. That's what you want. That's what I encourage you to exhort you today. Don't live a life of existential emptiness filled with the things that you think will satisfy you, will gratify you from outside world. The message is simply, they don't. On the surface, it may look cool and hip and nice and well, but inside, you're drying up. If you're not drying up already, you will feel it later. Especially when you get older or old. One way or the other, you will realize that Jacob was a prosperous man, full of God, in the sense that his life story, narratives, full of God. Yeah, no, he has some really hard time. But God's really with him through the hard time too. That's a story you want to tell. That's a story you want to experience. I remember when Jacob was after being deceived by his father-in-law Laban, like how many times? Is it 3 times or 3 times or 7 times? 3 times I think. And he labored for 7 years for his future wife, Laban's daughter, Rachel, who's beautiful. After 7 years, he worked so hard, Laban cheated him and gave him Leah, the not so pretty one. And then Rachel slept the first night with Leah without knowing that the woman is not Rachel. When he woke up, he was fuming. He slept with the wrong woman. And it was fuming, and Laban said, well, don't worry, it's our tradition, the elders go first. I'll give you Rachel and work for me another 7 years. What a crafty old sick man, right? So, and then Isaac went another 7 years, 14 years in the wilderness, in the cold of the desert, looking after Laban's sheep and gold, etc. My goodness, it was a vast story to tell. But suffice to tell that when Jacob came back to meet Esau after he escaped from Laban, this is another story. It's like Jacob brought his entourage, 2 wives, many kids, many servants, camels, stock, etc. in the wilderness. And he realized that his brother is going to kill him after Isaac cheated and lied and cheated. Jacob. Jacob cheated Esau, his elder brother, of the inheritance of the firstborn birthright. Is a very cunning guy, I gotta say, cunning and crafty. And he put it off with the help of his beloved beloved mother. The mother favored Jacob badly. It's one thing you never want to do as a mom or dad, okay? Never do this kind of thing. But the night before Jacob met with his elder brother, after so many years of separation, he was trembling in fear. So he separated his entourage into 2 teams, Rachel's team and Leah's teams, and separate men and women servants, camels, etc. He just thought if Esau attacked them, and the other team can just flee, he worked it out, and he presented presents to Jacob, to Esau, etc. But I just want to say that that night before God met Jacob, Jacob wrestled with God. Can you imagine that? And so much so, Jacob said, unless you bless me, I'll not let you go. And God touched his hip and dislocated his joint, and God blessed him. And he should turn in from Jacob into Israel. Jacob's story is Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel came from that man, full of God, I encourage you.